Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Before I start, I would like to say thank you to all the GC administrators and moderators for planning this. And I would like especially thank Mesa for planning everything out, especially with this program. It's very small. And also for all of you, lovers of Islam, for being here in attendance. As you know, we are not formal, ulama, we're not aitabas, we're not mullahs. Inshallah, we will be soon, or we'll try to become zakirs. But at this point, be aware that we are students and that we may make mistakes. So please feel free to critique us, teach us. You are elders. You have greater experience and more wealth of knowledge than all of us. Muhammad wa Muhammad sallallahu. So today my topic that I've chosen is to talk about the philosophy of Karbala, going into the depth of what it means, not just seeing it from the outside, of what the battle was, of who passed away, as all of these are important factors in our own history. But what is the meaning of this? What is happening? Why did it happen? And I come to the struggle of good and evil, the struggle between good and evil, haq and batil, what it means to us. This happens with in our daily lives, of fighting between good and evil. But where can we find this? Has it already been written throughout history? Of course. This was even there before Imam Hussein's time. After the construct, after Hazrat Adam came along, Habil and Qabil, did they not fight each other? Was that not a battle between good and evil? So already from the existence of humanity, it was already between good and evil of what was happening. And we go throughout history. Hazrat Musa and Pharaoh, what happened between them was also between good and evil. And of course, our own Holy Prophet against Abu Lahab and other enemies of Islam. So this battle has been going on since the existence of humanity. What does it mean in recent history? How have we tried to cope with this fight between good and evil? What have we done? Have we remained silent? Have we negotiated? Or have we just resisted against evil? In fact, we have done all these three things. If you can recall, Imam Ali alayhi salam, Imam Ali alayhi salam stood silent when the first three caliphs came. Am I not right? Abu Bakr, Uthman. He stood silent. But the Khalifa came to him. That is why he stood silent. The Khalifa came to him. He knew it was going to come to him. I go to our second Imam Hassan alayhi salam. Did he not make a treaty with Muawiyah? For my student historians, did he not make a treaty with Muawiyah for peace? He did. But that treaty was later broken. So we had silence first, but the Khalifa came. We had negotiated peace, but it was broken. Now how did we combat that last component, that second component? Imam Hussein alayhi salam. Resistance. Fighting back. That was the detrimental moment, and when we had to stand. First we stood silent, then we offered a treaty, we negotiated. And the last point, if they have broken both of these things, what is there left? What else is left other than resistance? Other than actually physically fighting? There was nothing left. I continue with the perspectives of what people thought of what the battle was going to be. The people's perspective. People of Damascus. People of Kufa. What did they think of what was going to happen? What was their belief? Why was Imam Hussein doing this? First, we have the first perspective was Imam Hussein of Islam wanted a higher position with the government. He wanted a higher position. He wanted to better himself. The second perspective was a complete sacrifice for our own actions. I think we already know of a religion that does this today, Christianity, where many think that Hazrat Isa died for their sins. People at that time thought the same way. The last perspective is our perspective. Our perspective, Shia Muslims' perspective, to fight against oppression. Amr bil Ma'ruf and Nahy anil Munkar. Enjoining good and forbidding evil. That was the last component. That is ours. And how long has the struggle been going on? Since the beginning. But what made this different? What made this different from history? What made this different from Hazrat Musa's time? What made this different from Hazrat Isa's time? What made this different from Hazrat Adam's time? Why was this struggle different? That is what we were looking at. The purpose of these struggles. Amr bil Ma'ruf and Nahy anil Munkar, the first component. Enjoining good and forbidding evil. Second component. Innovations that were beginning to enter Islam. It had only been 50 years since the Prophet's passing. And there were already innovations happening. To name a few, people started writing sahihs about the Caliphate, and I think you already know what that is. Sahih Bukhari, Sahih Muslim. They started writing about who? The Caliphate. These people were not masoom, if I'm correct. These people were not masoom. Why were they? These people had done sin in their life. These were converts. Why were they writing books about them? Why were they quoting them? And the sunnah itself was being destroyed. That is the last component. The sunnah was being destroyed. Why? Because of the books that were writing. They began to follow these books. Give lashes to your women, do these things, do these types of things. You think this is a part of Islam, giving lashes to other people? No, this is not a part of our history. That is not a part of our sunnah, what we believe in. No. And of course, what was Imam Hussein Islam's perspective? What was his perspective? We may have our own perspectives, but what was his? This one. Following in the footsteps of our Holy Prophet. That was it. That was the point of his existence. That is the point of an imamah. The laws have already been made. We just have to follow them. And they were the examples. And we have 12 before us. Now, as we see this struggle between good and evil, has evil changed since in history, has evil changed? Evil has changed. You may be surprised to hear that. Evil has changed. During the Prophet's time, his enemies were who? The Kuffar. He knew them. They did not believe in Tawheed. They did not believe in the oneness of God. He could easily tell them. He could easily tell that they were unbelievers. They said it out loud. We do not believe in the oneness of God. We have many gods. River God, sky God, God of the sand. They said it out loud. They said it up in front, you know. But during Hazrat Ali's time, what did they say? The Prophet said, my enemies are different than Ali's enemies. Why? Who are these other enemies? Who are this other evil that was within the shadow? The Prophet even said that Ali, your enemies cannot be easily seen by the eye. What does this mean? The Prophet's enemies were kuffar, unbelievers. Imam Ali's hypocrites. Hypocrites. Munafiq. These were enemies hard to identify because they could be within our own ummah. Right? Where did we see these? A few examples. Battle of Siffin, Battle of Jamal. Hypocrites. Evil is now in a disguise. And I believe evil has even innovated until our time. Because that evil is still in existence today. There are many Muslims out there. I'm proud to say. There are many Shia around the world. But how many of them are hypocrites? These are the true enemies. These are the true enemies. Coming back to what? Amr bil Ma'ruf and Nahy anil Munkar. This is the true evil. Ignorance. Not following the true path. Going back to the historical sense, the invitation by the people of Kufa. They were ready to accept Imam as their leader. They called upon him. Imam, please come. We ask for your aid. We ask for your assistance. They wanted him as a leader. But is there really a difference between an Imam and a leader? Is there? Is there a difference? Imam and leader. We have many leaders today, right? We just had our election recently. These are chosen, or they say they are chosen, but they're chosen leaders, you could say. And what is the difference between an Imam and a leader? Justice. Isn't that what we are waiting for? You see what's happening around the world. There are leaders that have been chosen by the people, and you still see the way the world is. Justice. Justice. The 12th Imam, alayhi salam. Isn't that what we are waiting for? The true justice? The divine revelation? Between Imam and leader. Now the people of Kufa, they no longer had excuses. And when an Imam came, not just a leader, an Imam came, there were no more excuses. It's Imam Hujjat, that is the name. No more excuses. You can no longer have any excuses for what you can do. Because Imam is there. Imam is in your own city. We go on to see that when Hazrat Muslim was sent to Kufa, wondering what the situation was, Hazrat Muslim even reported back to Imam saying, he said, people want you for your own, people want you for their personal interest. People of Kufa, he says somewhere. They want you for your personal interest. Now what could they possibly want for their personal interest, Imam Hussein? What is his personal interest? That when Imam comes, the government that he establishes will have wealth in their own government. Wealth will begin to, the system that he will set up within Kufa will be so productive that they will start making their own wealth. They wanted to use Imam for what? The wrong reasons. We see our ulama today, these are religious scholars. They know about other backgrounds, they know about their other fields. Where there's a point where religion is important, where it is a main component in our life. It cannot be mixed with anything else. We want to be productive, no doubt. But it's about the strength, the iman that we have, of standing up against injustice. And finally, rejecting allegiance to Yazid. Imam Hussein was responsible for Muslim leaders. He was responsible for the Muslim leaders. And that is why he also wanted to go to Kufa. That is also why he wanted to fight Yazid. Because people now would think that if Imam Hussein did not stand up against oppression, he did not stand up against Yazid was there. You see what was happening in Kufa. He did not stand up. Why should we stand up? Historians today would say that. But Imam Hussein did stand up. He fought against the oppression. And other leaders that would come after him would also say the same thing. I mean, enough of us have used Facebook now to know how much the influence that Imam Hussein had on Mahatma Gandhi. You've seen these statuses. There's no reason for me to point them out, but you know this. And there are many other Christian scholars, other Muslim scholars, that have also said the same thing. They were influenced by the situation that Imam Hussein was in Karbala, and what he had to do, what he sacrificed to prove a point to humanity. And today we're here in USA. There are Shia Muslims in USA. Have we won? Were we victorious? Yes. We are victorious today. There are Shia Muslims here today. We have spread all across the world. We have won. The result, the impact on the community, Which community? You could say all of humanity. I would like to spread it out that far. The supporters of Hussein were recognized by their attributes. They were recognized by their attributes. Hazrat Hur, Hazrat Muslim. These people were recognized. Or what? Servants of the people that were heroes in the battle. Servants. You say salam to them when you do ziyarat. His servant was even, you give him salam to them. Their attributes are recognized by the actions that they did, even for that one day. That one day. And Hazrat Zainab, some people wonder why the family was there. It was the order of Allah that the family was supposed to be there. Would you bring your family into a coming war zone? Would you do that with your own family, with your own brothers, with your own children? Would you do this? No, I wouldn't do it. But it was the order of Allah. Why? To spread the message. As they were going from city to city, chained, Hazrat Zainab spread the message of what happened to Karbala. She spread the message of Imam Hussein. She spread the message of who her father was. She spread the message of who her grandfather was. As they were chained, they were spreading the message of Islam. You would think these people are bonded, they won't say anything, they're going to keep going. You know, the family would have been left in Medina. But what happened? She spread the message to Damascus. She spread the message to Medina. She spread the message to Kufa. Our message was gaining. Imam Hussein's message was going all across. And they thought we had lost. They thought we had lost in the battle. But we were gaining strength. That's what was happening. And finally, a few other impacts. It became the revolution of revolutions. We still remember it to this day. We remember the minute details. Not many other historians can say such a thing. We can barely get the date down for some of the battles that happened in the past, of how many people were actually there, of the names of the people that were there. We just know the name of the battle. But for our history, we remember that revolution. We remember the minute details of what happened to each and every person, including the women, including the children. Isn't that amazing? I haven't seen another historian like that can prove something like that. And they have kept their history strong. And they've been implementing it all of their lives. Coming back to what? Amr bil Ma'ruf and Nahy anil Munkar. Last impact. The faith was saved in totality. The faith was completely saved. Like I said, we're here today. Today, you guys do matam for Imam Hussein. You read nohe about him. You say salam to him. You do ziyarat for him. I am proud to say I'm among you. I'm proud to say that you are my friends. Because you stood. Your parents stood. Their parents stood. You have remembered the name of resistance. You are strength. You are today's alumni. And finally, a few quotations I have from our beautiful Ahl Sunnah brothers. As you know how wonderful they are. God help them. Bukhari, Sahih Bukhari, volume number 5, hadith number 91. This is in their book. You can go check it out. You can write it down if you want. Bukhari, volume number 5, hadith number 91, narrated by Anas ibn Malik. The head of Al-Hussein was brought to Ubaydullah ibn Ziyad, and was put in a tray. And then Ibn Ziyad started playing with the stick at the nose and mouth of Al-Hussein's head. And Al-Hussein resembled the Prophet more than the others did. Anas added, his, Imam Hussein's, hair was dyed with wasma, kind of plant used as a dye. Bukhari, volume number 5, hadith number 96. Ibn Abi Numan narrates that a person asked Abdullah bin Umar whether a Muslim could kill flies. He asked him whether a Muslim could kill flies. I heard him saying in reply, the people of Iraq are asking about the killing of flies, why they themselves murdered the son of the daughter of Allah's apostle. The Prophet said, they, Hassan and Hussein, are my sweet basils in this world. In their books, you can look it up. And finally, coming back to my point, the philosophy of Karbala. The battle between good and evil still continues today. But we must remember the steps that Imam Hussein take and always his main objective. Sahih Bukhari, volume number 5, tradition number 91. Imam Hussein alayhi salam said, I revolted not from the wickedness nor the fame. Verily I rose only to seek for rectification in the nation of my grandfather, the Messenger of Allah.